Today, I want to share with you a direct message to South Africa. The time has come to admit that we risk things falling apart, yet it is somehow still necessary to state the obvious. South Africa, we are not okay. For far too long, we thought that we were exceptional only because we benefited from the actions of a few exceptional men. It is 21 years after we chose peace over war. It is not okay to let South Africans set human beings alight with tires around their necks and watch them scream in agony as they burn to death, simply because they were born somewhere else. The same people who fed and clothed our liberators, who were forced to leave everything behind, to travel thousands of kilometers only to seek a safe haven from genocidal wars, are carved to pieces with machetes and smashed to bits with bricks as soon as they crossed our borders. How many more others should be mutilated before we admit that the demons actually lives within? It is 21 years after we said no to violence. It is not okay to live in constant fear of our lives, unable to fully enjoy the treasures of the most beautiful country on earth. We are like animals on a wide open savanna that nevertheless chooses to live in cages. It is not okay that we are grateful when we only get mugged, and that we all know that it's just a matter of time before rape, hijacking, and murder shows up on our doorstep, or on the one we love. After we use our knife to eat the slaughtered cow's inyama, we use that same blade to slaughter the farmer who fed us in the first place. We kill our children with stray bullets over a baggie of tik and rape our women because we don't like who they love. It is 21 years after we chose prosperity over misery. It is not okay that 12 million people still live in dire poverty. For millions to still lack drinking water, houses, and safe public transportation. It is not okay that the vast majority of those people are still black and that the economic wealth of the country is still being shared. But how could it be when our public education system has been turned into a network of patronage to protect the incompetent? When math teachers at township schools can't count and language teachers that can't spell. The truth is that meaningful transformation will remain a pipe dream for as long as the majority of black learners risk their life every day to travel on dangerous roads only to arrive at schools without textbooks or working toilets. 21 years after we chose light over darkness. It is not okay that the most developed economy in the continent is unable to provide enough electricity to its people. Not because we lack the resources or the skills, but because the ANC government chose to sacrifice our infrastructure at the altar of a racial obsession, corruption, and sheer incompetence. How many South Africans will needlessly die as a result of this choice during the next coming months as they are caught in the icy grip of winter? Without power nor running water. How many of our frail grandmothers and grandfathers will simply freeze to death as they try to stay warm under a pile of old newspapers? How many children will lose their lives in shack fires because they are forced to cook what little food they can scrape together on open flames? It is 21 years after we chose accountability over repression. It is not okay that we have a government that allows its president to laugh in our faces after he steals our money. We have ignored our constitutional foundations, all of which are premised on coalition building and power sharing, and have instead handed the monopoly of power to a group of thieves who have shown nothing but contempt to its people. We have a government that fans the flames of xenophobia. We live in a society that is infested with crime because we have a government that guns down his own people in broad daylight and then prosecutes no one. Our people are trapped in poverty because we have a government that has stolen our money to build themselves palaces. We are a society utterly devoid of accountability because we have a government that unleashes riot police on members of parliament. It is a society without a moral foundation that is drifting leaderless into a sea of chaos. 21 years after we admitted to the horrors of our past, it is not okay that many white people are still apartheid apologists. It is not okay for you to mock the pain of others by singing Die Stem and parading around in your old torn SADF frocks. You may think it makes you look strong to stand around the bride telling your friends how dumb the black government is, when all it actually does is reveal how pathetically insecure you truly are. Every time you spew your bigotry, you are infecting the minds around you with your hate, spitting in the faces of the countless black victims who in fact chose to forgive. When everybody has gone home and the coals have died down, you lock yourself away in your own personal prison, terrified that your hateful brandy-fueled ramblings will echo into the ears of your fellow human beings on the other side of town, and they will come for you in the night. It is time for the white community to take responsibility for rooting out racism once and for all, and start viewing their compatriots as equals, capable of contribution. It is 21 years after we chose governors over rulers. It is not okay that many in the black majority of this country choose to turn a blind eye on a blazingly corrupt, incompetent, and murderous regime. If those apartheid dinosaurs are an underlying cause of the death and destruction we see all around us, then your racial nationalist ANC denial is a proximate cause. The unwillingness to admit that we have allowed ourselves to be co-opted by a party hell-bent on power and self-enrichment at the expense of everyone else has inflicted a tremendous amount of suffering not only to you, but to your fellow South Africans. Demographically speaking, everyone knows that the black people will largely be responsible for determining the future and fate of this country. It is time to start acting like it by using our greatest weapon: voting differently. It is necessary for us to admit that we, all of us, are not okay. That South African exceptionalism has always been a myth, and that we are instead a deeply troubled society. It is time to open your eyes to our exceptionalism, the violence, inequality, racism, and most importantly, poverty that are the hallmarks of our beloved South Africa go beyond anything else that exists in the free world. If we continue in our failure to admit this, then we are only exceptional in our own arrogance. Thank you.